So ethnic conflict, this is really the main, I think, driver of displacement and humanitarian need right now, certainly in Burkina Faso and Mali, and also to some extent in Niger. Very simply, what we're seeing right now is the proliferation of ethnically based communal self-defense groups who have formed in order to protect certain communities against the jihadists. The problem is, well, one of the problems is that these self-defense groups are not actually fighting against the jihadists. They are targeting civilians who they associate to be part of or working with the jihadists. Specifically, they are targeting civilians from the Fulani ethnic group. The Fulani are a traditionally nomadic, pastoralist herder community who have been targeted quite heavily for recruitment by jihadist groups, and that's because they are quite marginalized. Certainly in central Mali, they have lost a fair amount of political power over the years, and there is a sense that the central governments and also potentially development actors have not necessarily respected their pastoralist way of life. So what we're now seeing is essentially entire Fulani communities being stigmatized and attacked and collectively punished when the jihadists do something bad or when the jihadists attack. In central Mali, we see the armed groups from the Fulani and Bambara communities fighting one another. We see armed groups from the Dogon and Fulani communities targeting and fighting one another. In Burkina Faso, we see armed groups from the Mossi community targeting the Fulani community. And in Niger, the situation is slightly different, but we also see two Malian armed groups, namely the MSA and Gassia, who have been instrumentalized by the French counter-terrorism forces in the region to fight against jihadist groups. These Malian armed groups have moved across the border into Niger, and they are also now targeting Fulanis, again, who they associate with the jihadists. So in summary, I think what we're seeing right now in the West African part of the Sahel is that these jihadist groups have come in and they've really torn apart the already slightly fragile ethnic fault lines of the region, generating these intercommunal conflicts that are in many ways now far more deadly and causing far more suffering than anything the jihadists are actually doing on their own.